It's Movie Time. It's produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
I'm Jordan Hanalami.
This is It's Movie Time.
Yeah.
And thank goodness we're over the Oscars. I labor over this for a year. I'm so happy to have it done.
They happen, and then what do? You read about it the next day or that night? When do you find out?
You know me too well. I'm not able to get through the ceremony, and my reasons are many. Most important is the people who have received such acclaim and such wealth continue to have to be feted at these at these ceremonies.
They most certainly do.
On the other hand, I would say, in their defense, it is the most powerful. Let's say, it is the most powerful art form in the history of civilization. So it deserves it.
And not to mention, shown by the fact that they took over a train station last night.
Yes, I know. Tell me about it. What kind of ceremony?
Well, it was to be as brief as I can, it was the exciting thing to me was that one of my favorite filmmakers, Steven Soderbergh, was put in charge of producing the show. So it was different. There was some good, there was some bad, but it was undeniably different. The way they ordered some things, they traditionally start with supporting actor and actress. It started with screenplay this year. No host, which it happens sometimes. Yeah. It was one of the most, I think, it worked for me, most exciting things. They brought a lot of color to it, to the event, in terms of they had windows with sun shining in, as opposed to a dark theater of people sitting together and stuff. It just felt less stuffy.
Were there people in the audience?
Yeah, absolutely.
Masks?
It was some masks, but they announced they worked really hard to make this as socially, or as appropriate as they could in terms of, they said they met every standard possible in terms of social distance. Everybody was vaccinated, everybody was tested and tested again, and all that kind of stuff. So they spent a lot of time and effort making it as comfortable. They did, but not awkwardly so. It was like a lot of booths. There was a lot of people sitting in booths and tables that were close enough.
Oh, good.
So,
all right. Okay. So It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a bust.
Not a bust. It was the thing that people have noted the most from it as a complaint, and I would agree, is they didn't really do much in the way of clips this year, which is kind of a thing that a lot of people like to watch that show for, is seeing the clips. And this was a big thing of storytelling, people telling different stories and stuff. So anyway.
All right. So George, in the awards, let's begin, because we have just a short show here before our podcast, which will give us more time. But the winner is Nomadland.
It is.
What's your feeling?
So I'll be honest, it's one of those movies that for me, I was great with it. I loved Nomadland, but it's also a movie that I totally understand people such as maybe certain other hosts that you regularly work with really not liking it in a lot of ways, a lot of very specific ways. But having been a bit of a nomad in my life at points in time, there were some things that really resonated with me in that movie, and just I thought it was beautiful, and I thought it was worth it.
Its timing is perfect. You have a whole bunch of people in the last year who have lost the franchise, and they're wandering, trying to find a place. And I think this is a perfect metaphor. I agree with you, even though I know that they weren't thinking of it at the time that they made the movie. It was, people who take off in their RVs to make a new life, or even to find just a place, to have just a place to live. This is good, and therefore, George, that's what so intrigues me about it. It's a nothing film. It's a kind of travel Seinfeld. Nothing happens, really.
Well, and for that to happen, for it to occur, it just would have been fascinating to see this movie in any other year. And that is a year of pandemic.
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking about just getting out, getting away, all these things, and then that movie we don't have a lot of the big epic movies that we normally have, and this was just a big sweeping, chill movie.
I know, and we remember all the treks west, both real and in films, and this is going to a better place when we go west, and even from Easy Rider. We're moving from where we were to a better place we are, and it catches it. I would just say this is, to me, a fine example of minimalism, and I love minimalism in life, just anywhere, where we don't do as much as we want to do, or we don't give into excess. This is a stripped down movie. So good enough. Good enough. Was there any other that you thought should have gotten it if Nomadland didn't?
Judas and the Black Messiah is one of the best
yeah.
movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I watched that twice within a couple days
Yeah.
just because I was so overwhelmed with it. So that
Yeah.
was my favorite movie, but I had no problem with it.
And if I had to guess on the others for myself, probably Mank
Yeah,
was one you would guess that I might like.
really
Okay.
happy to see that one get cinematography in
Yes,
particular.
yes,
and pull
yes.
off a couple of awards because it was highly nominated and stuff, and people were worried it might just go home empty-handed, but
Okay, so they saved actor and actress in leading role for the end of your
Mhm.
show, right?
yes.
All right, and here we go. Here's the big upset, would you say?
As far as the actor, yes. Yeah, the actress was pretty wide open. The actor, it was a moment from Oscar. It will go down in Oscar history for sure as something that people talk about forever, in the sense that everyone, I have heard people refer to it as the lock of all locks, that Chadwick Boseman was going to win
Wow.
Best Actor. And but I'll tell you, just in listening to podcasts and things like that I do in the last few weeks, I have felt the Anthony Hopkins momentum.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately it awkwardly ended the show in the terms of, people thought that Boseman was going to
Yeah.
win, that was going to be the end, but Anthony won, and he gave a speech today and stuff, and so.
I too felt Boseman was going to get it, not necessarily because it was the best performance, but because there's so much in that mix, including posthumous awarding
Mhm.
to him. So it was good enough to be right up there with the best,
Yeah.
and then throw in the fact that he died and he was black. I mean, there were so many good things going for him, and he really did a super job in Ma Rainey. So I was accepting. I was almost certain it was.
Yeah.
And on my other, George, see what you think about this. Why do we give it to Hopkins again? Can't we spread that baby around?
Yeah, it's hard. It was, not, and admittedly, I have not seen The Father yet. But I have been heartened to hear quite a few people say that I was not expecting. Again, it's part of this, what I've heard in the last few weeks. I've heard people really put out there that it's the best work they've ever seen him do. And so it made it a little easier for me to hear, for him to win. But, I agree. It's hard to see that sometimes happen, for someone that's already, especially someone that's already won.
Yeah, and he's won once before,
Mhm,
right?
yeah.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
But I would say, having seen it, well worth it.
Yeah.
Superior. I just discounted it because this old guy is gonna.
I honestly did too, and that's why it's been really exciting to hear, that he was just that amazing.
Well, I'm not sure about actress in a leading role. Who do you think should have gotten it? We know that Frances McDormand won it as her film Nomadland did. Are you comfortable with her winning?
I am, in the sense, I mean, she's a favorite of mine in general, big Coen Brothers fan here,
Yes.
and she's obviously forever connected there. But and I think part of it for me with her was that she so seamlessly blended in with these people that weren't actors and made it work so well. So that was great. But for me, it's so hard for me not to just give Viola Davis like every award. Like I just can't. When she's on the screen, I just can't. Oh my God.
Or Carey Mulligan.
And yes, thank you.
Promising young woman. Wow.
She gave one of the more controlled, just great performances.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And that movie, it fit the movie so well.
But Frances was a part of that landscape.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, she looked like a part of the landscape.
Yes. Kind of did last night too, to be honest with you.
Never be accused of being a glamour puss.
John, she literally howled like a wolf during an acceptance speech. Howled, like in the movie when they do that kind of. And so they cut to Joel Coen, her husband, and he was just straight faced. It was, yeah.
But George, this is her third Oscar.
Yeah,
Wow.
So it's Meryl and Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah.
Is that it? I think?
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me, but then I'm always wanted open and honest, so I don't want any finagling going on.
Yeah.
For somebody sitting back there and saying, no, she can't get it because she's already had two of them.
Yeah.
I like what it suggests about the Academy.
Yeah.
Whoever does what they consider the best performance, they're going to get it regardless.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't know that they always do that, but it did feel like it in both of these best actor and actress wins. So I agree.
All right, so George, I think it's time for us to pass on to our podcast.
Yes.
Which
We got
is
some more
Back
things to
Talk, and so we're gonna have to sign off of.
Okay.
Of,
Let's do it.
it's movie time, and I wanna thank you for being here, but I might ask you, I can't give it, give me a grade for the ceremony.
The ceremony, I guess I gotta give it a B for effort.
Sounded like it.
Had some issues, but
Yeah.
I appreciated the effort.
But you know something, George? God bless them after this year.
Yeah.
Putting anything together.
Quite an effort. Yeah, it was amazing.